Hi, I'm Graham from Second Era of Moles, and if you've clicked on this video accidentally, 90 seconds is all I ever ask. Welcome back to another week that was. For me, it wasn't the greatest week that was, because just after recording last week's one, I tested positive for COVID. And I'm still testing positive for COVID, so don't get too close to this video, don't inhale too deeply or you might catch it too. I'm joking, that's not how COVID works. But in terms of Pokemon Masters, the focus this week has been on the Legendary Gauntlet. We've also had a Psychic Gear event, we've had the Champion Stadium in the Unova region, we had a Pokemon Masters Day last Friday, we've had a message from the Masters team, so there's been plenty to see and do. So this has been the final week for the Champion Stadium in Unova. It goes by so fast, doesn't it? In round 1, your condition is not to let any of your sync pairs faint. I chose to take on Marshal for this one. He was weak to poison types. So my team was Cygnus, Leaf and Venusaur, Koga and Crobat, and Viola and Masquerain. So this is kind of your standard poison trap setup. You've got Leaf in there to set Razor Leaf and tank. You've got Koga for more poisoning and Venoshock, and you've got Viola in there for reducing special attack and for setting trap. The key to this one is keeping Leaf alive and healthy as much as possible, so that means that you've got to be very careful and diligent with your potions. You start off with Razor Leaf to get poison onto there. With Koga, you're using X speed for that team evasiveness. With Viola, you're setting trap onto all 3 of the enemies. That first sync move is going to go to Leaf for Mega Venusaur, and then that means you can use Mega Healing and get further boosts from that. Leaf is probably going to need a potion in that phase after she uses her sync move, because she's going to be taking some big hits from Carnivine and from the one in the middle. Viola's using Struggle Bug to reduce special attack. I know not many of the enemy are really using special attacks in this one, but it's just good to have. Koga's moving on to moving like a shadow. He's doing that to max out his evasiveness. For me, I had a crit hit shield as one of my conditions, so it wasn't to boost his crit hit rate. And then from there, you're moving on to Venoshock to start doing some damage. He's also going to be getting all of the sync moves from there on out. So Leaf does tank through this one pretty well, but if she takes enough big hits and drain punches in a row, that is going to take a toll on her, and you're going to need to have a potion lined up to keep her at sort of 80, 90, 100% health. Because if Marshal manages to break through her, he tears through the other 2 reasonably easily. And because this is a poison trap, you want to make him have to use as many moves as possible. So if you can keep Leaf healthy and have him use up most of his health trying to get through that, it just leaves that little bit left when he comes to try and take out Viola and take out Koga, and then from there you've got a little bit of healing from Viola and you've got evasiveness on the 2 of them, and that should stall him for long enough. In round 2, you get a sync move countdown reduction. I chose to take on Grimsley for this one, and my team was Halloween, Caitlin and Sableye, Lusamine and Pheromosa, and Leaf and Eevee. So I thought, I've got Pheromosa now, this one's going to be easy. It wasn't quite. I had to go through a few different iterations before I settled on this team. I wanted Caitlin in there because she can boost both types of defense. Grimsley uses a mixture of physical and special attacks, so you need defensive boosts for both. Pheromosa is very, very glassy, so you've got to give her as much support as you possibly can for this one. Eevee's in there for the boost from her sync move. She's also got potions if you need them. I found that I was doing more damage with Lunge than with Bug Buzz, so that was the sort of main thrust of the battle, using that as a physical attack. After Grimsley uses a sync move, Pheromosa's either going to need to use a there to get some health back, or is going to need a potion as a bit of a top up there. It took, I think, 2 sync moves from Pheromosa to either take all of the enemy out or get very, very close. I did do some lunges to take out one of the sides there, because that gives Pheromosa a boost to attack and special attack. But if it doesn't take them out completely, it'll get you very, very close, and you just need to do a bit more lunging to take them all out. In round 3, you get a physical attack reduction. I probably chose the wrong round to use this in because I was taking on Shauntal. She was weak to ground types, and obviously ground types are mostly physical attacks. But my team was Leon and Charizard, Hop and Zamazenta, and Phoebe and Dusknoir. I decided to go a little bit off type on this one, so I didn't want to just be using Cynthia and Garchomp or Maxie and Groudon. It's like a little bit ironic because I chose another limited unit to get it done. But unfortunately, that's the state of ground types at the moment, is that you've either got limited ones or you've got Hapu and Clay, neither of which are going to get you very far. So with Leon, you're using mostly Earthquakes. You could also do an Inferno to get that burn damage as well. I didn't because I had status conditions turned off. So he's either Earthquake or Strike Oppose. With Hop, you're hopping to it and hoping for free moves with a Revenge boost. With Phoebe, you're raising crit hit rate, and then you've got Unbreakable Bonds to boost attack and also to give you a move gauge boost. So Phoebe for me is 6x, so she synced first. Leon gets the sync moves after that. When it came down to Shauntal's sync move, didn't do a huge amount of damage, but then she sets Sunny Day afterwards. The combination of Sunny Day and Overheat isn't very good for Hop, so if you see an Overheat there, make sure that you've got a potion lined up. The Sunny Day does help Leon though, it makes his attacks more powerful, and then he came in with a big solar boosted sync move, and that was that. In round 4, your condition is permanent field effects. Caitlin was weak to ghost types for this one, so I decided to have a bit of fun with one of my newer units, and my team was Anniversary Lily, Signasuit Renegade Cynthia, and Battle Points Morty with Miss Magus. So Anniversary Lily just makes this too easy, and especially when you do what I did and choose Shadow Ball instead of setting Ghost Wish at the beginning. You can tell I haven't used her much because it's like, oh yeah, it's that. Oh no, I missed it. So what you should be doing is Shining Moonlight with Lily. Morty is seeing what you're doing. You set Ghost Wish with Cynthia, and then you move on to Reveal to Me Your Secrets. Lily goes on to Moongeist Beam, and the opponents take heal and flee as fast as they can. She gets the sync move, and then she's doing more Moongeist Beam to pick off any survivors. I think I do that every time, pick off survivors, because it's just that powerful. When you get to round 5, your permanent condition is a physical attack boost. I also chose the condition from round 4 of permanent field effects. You're taking on Alder this week. It's like, hey, Alder's back! Alder's back! It's like in Parks and Recreation, where Ben goes to the accountancy firm and they all love it. It's like, Ben's back! Ben's back! Come on everybody, Ben's back! And then he leaves after like 20 minutes and they're all like, oh. But Alder was weak to rock types this week, so my team was Signasuit, Blue and Blastoise, Acerola and Palossand, and Cynthia and Lycanroc. I was going to try and go for like a dual rock typers where you have Ingo and Archops and then Olivia and Lycanroc and then Palossand kind of tanking, but Alder has different plans. He sets up with a Hyper Beam first up. Didn't get any flinching, so it took out Acerola, which was unfortunate, and that scuppered any plans of that. So I thought, okay, I need a unit who can take a Hyper Beam from Alder and keep going, and that was Signasuit Blue. So he can also set to the top, that'll give you a permanent move gauge boost. Acerola sets Sandstorm to boost Lycanroc. Lycanroc is doing X attack. First sync move goes to Blastoise for Team Endurance and 6x. Then the rest of them go to Olivia. She's also doing Stone Edge. I love the animation of that when you see Lycanroc just come in. It's like, boom, and then you see the rock come up and it's like, boosh. But between those big moves, some flinching from Acerola and then Blue doing his thing in the background, Alder shouldn't be able to do too much to you. It's like, he starts sitting down, he stands up, it's like, no, sit down, boyo. And that's your final 10k point run for the Unova region. Next week we're moving on to a new region. I'm not a gambling man, but if I had to put money on it, I would say it would be the Johto region. the Kanto region, the Alola region. See, I just recorded all of them so that I'm right whatever happens. The big one this week has been the Legendary Gauntlet. It's 2 words when put together, make me break out in a cold sweat and fill me with a sense of dread. And I think it's because I just don't have the patience to think about, okay, I need to have this many teams to get to this. So I want to use this one as a striker, but then I need another one to go. And it's like, no, I just want to play the game, you know? I don't have time to sit around and then keep repeating and retrying because the strategy will work, but you need to get the luck of flinching or whatever. So yeah, at the moment I think my streak is 4, maybe 5. I'm going to get to 12 and then maybe call it quits there. I am always very impressed and I have a huge respect for the people who can do 40, 50 run streaks. Sometimes the combinations that people get together, it's just what made you think of using these ones together? It's incredible. And it's the fact that you put them together and that worked. How did you know that was going to work? Yeah, it does. It just leaves me absolutely speechless. We've also had a psychic gear event, so you can get 3-star gear for your psychic types now. I always think it's interesting to see what units people come into the battle with. Usually it's people just showing off ones that they've pulled recently, so I've seen a lot of Serena and Zygarde in there, especially at the start. Now that it's been going a few days, it's more more likely to see Lucamine and Necrozma in there. I mean, that's what I go with, but that's because it's one of my favourite psychic strikes. I'm not showing off, you're showing off, shut up! Last week we had Pokemon Masters Day, so hopefully you were able to do lots of co-op battles there and get all of the rewards from that. You also got 2 lots of Happy Scouts, 1 paid, 1 non-paid. Gotta say, the results didn't leave me too happy. It was just a bit eh. Coming up, we've got an Alice in Wonderland themed tea party event. This one hits quite close to home for me because the office that I work in has an Alice in Wonderland theme. So you go in and there's a giant pair of Alice legs in the foyer, and it's what's going on there? But Lily is going to be featured pair there again. A lot of people are sort of saying, do we really need 4 versions of Lily? Could we not use someone else? Someone who's only got 1 version? Someone who's not even in the game yet? But, I don't go in for controversies like that. I can see what they're saying though. There's a new chapter in the story about Paulo, so if you've got a little red exclamation mark in the story area, that's what that's for. I haven't been through it yet, but I think it's only an interlude there like the previous one was. We've had a message from the Masters team, so there's been a few announcements made in that. Obviously about the Mad Hatter Tea Party event was the main one. There's also been a slight redo of the egg menu, so you no longer have to do battles to make them hatch. On Lucky Skills, there's a little thing, if you hover over it, you can see what Lucky Skills are available from each of the cookies. So I think that's going to be very, very useful. Later next month, we're going to have some kind of riddle solving event. So I could see that being either a good amount of fun or immensely frustrating. I hope it's not one where you have to rely on other people, I like to play the game just as myself and for myself. That's just me though. And there you have it, another week that was for Pokemon Masters X. Hopefully yours was significantly less COVID-filled than mine was. Next week we'll be moving on to the next region of the Champion Stadium. We'll probably have a second look at the Legendary Gauntlet and where I finished up with that. That's for the week that will be. Thank you very much for watching this video. You're well past the 90-second mark at this point. If you've enjoyed it, you can follow me on Twitter. I'm SEOM_YT, and that will give you a tweet for next week's week that was. You can subscribe to the channel. You can like and comment on this video. But thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.